Breaking news here on this Tuesday morning. According to multiple sources, Governor Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota here, picked to be Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate.
The announcement coming just within the last 30 minutes or so. The pair will hold their first rally tonight together in Philadelphia. Our Bill Keller live for us in St. Paul outside of the governor's residence has been there all morning long. You saw a flurry of activity. We knew potentially he was top two, and now, Bill, what are you hearing there now that he is getting the nomination?
Now he is the top dog. Yeah, indeed. In fact, this has sort of turned into a bit of a block party. Let me step out of the way and give you a little idea. There is a national media, there's local media here, but there's also people who live in the neighborhood, people who were just walking their dog this morning, now taking selfies in front of the governor's temporary residence here off of the Mississippi River. An exciting moment. Everyone we spoke with said that they are very excited about this choice for the ticket for Harris and Walz. Keep in mind, they're printing up those signs now. Those are going to be the official ticket. That is what voters will be deciding on. Again, the folks who have been walking through here just kind of feeding on the energy of this moment that Minnesota is going to be providing a vice presidential candidate. Now, this is not the first time, of course, Minnesota no stranger to being a proving ground for the president's #2 position. Of course, you had Walter Mondale, who served under President Carter, 1977 to 1981. Before that, you had Hubert Humphrey under Lyndon Johnson for 4 years, 65 to 69. And now you've got Governor Walz, who could, if all things pan out the way the Democrats are hoping, could be Vice President Tim Walz. Just the latest on his resume. Really, his star has risen a lot in just the last week. He was such a long shot. We saw some odds makers over the weekend that were 500, 800, 900 to 1. Well, anybody who placed that bet is going to make some cash because he is the pick. And this was not an easy decision. It kept getting whittled down from a dozen candidates to about 6 candidates. Most of those governors, including Shapiro in Pennsylvania. And because Kamala Harris is going to be doing her very first event, going to introduce the country to Governor Walz, her running mate, a lot of folks thought it was going to be Shapiro because that event happens to be in Pennsylvania and he is the governor there. It's going to be in Philadelphia, but that is not the case. We saw a lot of vehicles starting to show up here a couple of hours ago. They look like Secret Service. Most of them, though, are just state security vehicles, really a phalanx of black sedans and police cars. I talked with one of the women who I caught laughing out loud, when kind of giddy when she heard the news. Take a listen to our conversation. Hey, good morning. Did you guys hear the news?
We did. I just heard. I laughed out loud.
You laughed out loud?
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, I'm excited. I hate to lose a wonderful governor, but I love Peggy Flanagan. I'm in early childhood education, and she's a strong advocate, as Walz has been. I'm excited for the country. I'm excited about Harris. I've been excited since I heard the news about that. So I'm thrilled for Minnesota to be represented on the ticket, and we will figure this out, and we're going to be strong supporters of the Walz and Harris ticket. So
what do you think he brings to her ticket?
Well, I think he's very practical. I think he's been a clear advocate for everyday people. And people know that. He's a teacher. He comes from not the urban areas. He has a more rural, greater Minnesota background. And I think just the way he talks about things, it makes common sense to people. He doesn't try to use political language. He just tries to get the work done. And I think that's going to be valuable, even though we're not a swing state. I think he's going to speak to swing state voters because of how he approaches getting things done.
What is your name?
Beth.
Beth what?
Menninga.
Spell that for me.
M-E-N.
Yeah, Beth was very excited, and I talked to at least a handful of other people who had very similar comments. They like him, no nonsense, and they think that will be something that really appeals to voters across the country as well. Minnesota, again, getting off the list of flyover states. Back to you guys.
Bill, I know you've been out there all morning. Obviously, this is the kind of the temporary residence for the governor as the Summit Avenue mansion is under construction right now. You said national media was out there from the get-go. We knew that he was on the top 2 in this list. Kind of what's been the vibe just in the last 20 minutes or so since this news came down?
Well, again, it's got a block party sort of atmosphere. I hear residents who live across the street kind of giggling and laughing. It's big news and something they were not expecting. You know, when I pulled up here at about 4 o'clock this morning at 0:30, there was just one vehicle with its headlights on. I walked up and introduced myself, and it was another reporter from another national news outlet, and they had just been staking out the property. There were a lot of posts yesterday about the vehicles going in and out, people thinking that was Secret Service, and maybe that was some type of clue as to what might be happening. That not the case, but he's got the job. He's got the assignment.
All right, Bill, we'll check in with you again.